Oh, Chip, I see big things in the future.
The big thing in Elvira's future goes bust.
When they count noses on the Seinfeld show, they're seeing double.
I'm Kramer. I'm Kramer. Whoa, I'm Kramer.
At Cheers, it's Thanks for the Memories.
This is the same stage that Cheers was shot on. And we just threw him right out of here.
Entertainment Tonight has one for the road on this Thursday, the 20th day of May, 1993. Hi there, everybody. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Mary Hart, once again in New York City. Hi, John.
Hi, Mary. I'm John Tesh here in Los Angeles. And, of course, tonight is the night. Sam and Norm, Carla and Cliff, Frasier, Rebecca, and Woody will fade into the television sunset. It's been 11 seasons of fun. Maybe it was because this was Cheers' last season, but what didn't make it onto the air was often as funny as what did.
Mr. and Mrs. Wally Boyd. Woody.
Because I know you, Sam Malone.
But do you know the next line?
We need to do something that'll bring young women in here, young single women, young, beautiful, single, large-breasted. Can I answer?
With a cast that's worked together as long as this one has, half the fun seemed to be in making each other foul up.
He's got to treat me with the respect I deserve.
You make me nervous, Jimmy.
Okay. You should probably think about the ashamed part.
Come on, man.
Okay. Hey, you nervous?
Nope. Steady as a rock. Yeah, the way.
Movie actor.
All right, hey, you know, these bozos don't know that the camera's down, right? Yeah, right? Yeah. So. They don't know that this is broken.
What are your lines? What are your lines?
It's my wife. I'll get rid of her. Woody, cover me. Here. You covered me? Is that it?
It was funny.
In playing to a live audience, anything could happen. Watch the unexpected reaction Woody gets when he enters this scene.
Woody, what are you doing back here?
What? You guys haven't seen him for 3 months either?
Hi, guys.
And there's nothing like having to use a prop, in this case a telephone, to help an actor blow his lines.
He's not here. Okay. Now the band I'm looking for has got to be able to...
What?
Now the band I'm looking for is going to have to be able to do all the old Irish standards. Well, whichever way.
But despite all the glitches, when it came right down to it, this was one cast who believed in remaining close right to the end. Tonight's final episode will run an hour and 38 minutes over 3 times normal length, and it will be preceded by a half-hour NBC special with clips and highlights from episodes down through the years. Mary?
As the sun sets on Cheers, the sun also rises on You Show, starring its cast members. The old gang is splitting up, but you're going to be able to see most of them again very soon all over the place.
Hey there, I'm Hal Jackson. Welcome to the best selection, the finest built cars and trucks this side of Detroit.
Don't touch me.
Ted Danson steps out from behind the bar and onto the big screen. He stars with Whoopi Goldberg in Made in America, due out later this month. In the comedy, Danson's daughter gets the shock of her life when she finds out about her long-lost dad. You're white. Kirstie Alley has also found life after Cheers. She's been hard at work on the third Look Who's Talking film with John Travolta. You can look for that comedy this winter.
Oh, look, it's beautiful. Oh, geez, we can afford this.
And after 11 years of being perched on a bar stool, George Wendt has headed to New York, where he's now starring in an off-Broadway musical comedy called Wild Men.
And I'm so glad you have a friend who's my father.
The play, which is a spoof of the men's movement, is his New York stage debut.
It's 5 men making complete asses of themselves. None of us can sing or dance, but we try, and that's part of the fun.
Ah, Dad, welcome to your new home.
But in a way, Cheers will live on with a spin-off of the popular Dr. Frasier Crane character played by Kelsey Grammer. This time, everyone's favorite psychiatrist has become a radio shrink.
My social life consisted of hanging around a bar night after night.
We have an exclusive look at the new show, which is filmed at a place Kelsey is more than familiar with.
I'd like to show you around my new dig. This is Frasier's new apartment. This is approximately where the Cheers bar used to be. Norm used to sit over here. For those of you who don't know, this is the same stage that Cheers was shot on. And we just threw him right out of here. This is the radio station. Very exciting. We've got all the kind of, necessary equipment around to make it look like, a phony set. And this is where Frasier sits and takes his calls and doles out his advice.
Grammer says he's excited about the show, but admits that being the star is a big responsibility.
It's a bigger obligation, and it's also very exciting. And everything I've done beforehand basically was, cultivating this kind of a moment, and I feel very good about being at the helm instead of just one of the crew members.
Kelsey Grammer's new show will debut on NBC this fall, and we haven't forgotten about Rhea Perlman. Like other Cheers stars, she could have gone on to new projects as well, but she's decided to take time off to be with her children and her husband, actor Danny DeVito.
The cast of Cheers will watch tonight's finale at the Bull and Finch Bar in Boston, the saloon that the series was patterned after. Big question to be answered: how many millions will be watching elsewhere? Here's the lowdown. To become number one, the final episode of Cheers will have to knock off the final episode of MASH, the show with the highest rating for a TV series. 60% of the country tuned into the last days of the 4077, over 121 million people. It may be hard for Cheers to top those numbers since fewer people are watching network TV these days. A typical episode of Cheers attracts 24 million viewers.
Whitney Houston is the cover story for the June issue of Rolling Stone. In her candid interview, the pop diva talks about music, men, and the rumors surrounding an alleged lesbian relationship with her longtime friend and assistant Robin Crawford. The lowdown is Houston flatly denies it, saying her husband Bobby Brown would never hear of it. Quote, "He's all boy and he ain't going for it."
It's opening this weekend, but already there are some pot shots being taken at Hot Shots Part 2, starring Charlie Sheen. The lowdown is a new ad campaign for the Western Posse is spoofing Sheen in his film.
Some guys think they're hot shots, but you're just chicken. Unless you ride with the posse.
And it's a case of art imitating life, as the season finale of Seinfeld shows Jerry getting his own sitcom pilot and casting lookalikes to play his friends.
Let's rub noses like the Eskimos.
It's a behind-the-scenes look at Seinfeld coming up later. Elvira, Mistress of the Dark, became famous for her horror movie show. And after playing that character up in television commercials, she thought she was ready for prime time. But now the network has pulled the plug on her new show. She says not because it's too scary, but because it's too sexy.
Opportunity only gives you knockers once.
Elvira's primetime opportunity seems to have stalled, at least for now. CBS has decided not to run her new sitcom, The Elvira Show, this fall. The reason may be because of gags like this.
I see big things in your future.
Cassandra Peterson, who plays Elvira, says that CBS approved the pilot for the show from script to final taping, and that's why the turndown came as a shock.
They told me about it and said that it was too racy, too hot. When I heard that, I go, wow, weren't those the same guys that were there yesterday watching it? God, I guess the fact that it came out on tape and I wasn't Mary Poppins really freaked him out. This is a bust! This is a bust!
There's no doubt that cleavage jokes and the like abound on the show, but that shouldn't have surprised the network, says Cassandra.
I always had the same cleavage, for 12 years. I've been doing that. Exact same cleavage for 12 years. Might be an inch or two lower, but it's still like exactly the same, so there's no surprises there when it comes to that.
However, Paul Schulman, who advises companies on what programs they should advertise on, says it wasn't the sex that doomed Elvira. He says the show was just plain bad.
I really had a serious problem with this show. I mean, it's not today's comedy. It's like comedy of 10 years ago, only with sex jokes laced throughout. And it would be the show that would lead the league in groans.
Cassandra's not giving up, though. She's now shopping the show around to other networks, cable, and syndicators.
I'm extremely proud of it. I think it's really, really funny, and it's the best work I've ever done. And I'm still sure it's going to get on television somehow.
CBS told Entertainment Tonight the network develops a lot of shows that never make the air, and Elvira is, quote, one that just didn't make the cut, end quote. John?
And Mary, CBS announced its fall schedule today, and the big news is the big stars whose shows were canceled. Gone are Bob Newhart's new show, Bob, The Women of the Golden Palace, the Gerald McRaney series Major Dad, and Ed Bradley's news magazine Street Stories. Replacing them are new stars in new shows, and here's where they will go.
Stupid dog.
Monday night's comedy lineup is fairly intact, with only one new sitcom slated. That's Dave's World, starring TV veteran Harry Anderson as real-life syndicated columnist Dave Barry.
Is he really going to take me for a walk for the billionth time? Oh, I'm so excited. I'll pee on his foot.
There are no changes on Tuesday nights, but there's a major shakeup on Wednesdays with two new comedies. Bronson Pinchot stars in The Trouble with Larry, and Fran Drescher is the nanny.
I come from Flushing. There is nothing these kids can throw at me that I haven't seen before, except maybe their trust funds.
There's also a new Private Eye series, South of Sunset, starring Glenn Fry, formerly of the Eagles.
You're going to help me find Luther Mays. Man, you're dreaming, white boy.
New on Thursdays, Connie Chung's news magazine Eye to Eye. Friday nights will be filled with familiar faces and new comedies. Peter Scolari stars in Family Album, and Faye Dunaway and Robert Urich play a mismatched couple in It Had to Be You.
Here, put this on. It was my ex-husband. I had most of the stab holes mended.
It's nice. Which one of the four tops were you married to?
And on Saturday nights, father and son Lloyd and Bo Bridges saddle up for Hearts of the West. It's about a city slicker who buys a dude ranch in Nevada.
You David Hart?
Yes. Yes, I am David Ira Hart. Never heard of it. I'm the new owner. Of what? The Flying Freaking Tumbleweed!
CBS also announced today the much-talked-about Tom Arnold series will be a mid-season replacement. It will be called Tom.
Perry Mason is trying to find out if anger at an obnoxious boss boiled over into murder. Here's the first clue in tonight's coming attractions.
Very interesting. Thank you very much, Mr. Mason.
Raymond Burr comes face-to-face with radio station owner Regis Philbin and radio psychologist Mariette Hartley. Seems Philbin is despised by his employees, played by real-life TV personalities, including Montel Williams and Christina Ferrari.
I am accused of murdering Regis Philbin. So I'll tell you that he gets it in the end, see. Actually, in the beginning.
Perry Mason, The Case of the Telltale talk show host, airs tomorrow on NBC.
I plugged him right through the heart.
Robert Urich stars in a chilling, fact-based TV movie as an obsessive father who murders his son-in-law and tries to bilk several insurance companies. Urich enjoyed the acting challenge.
Growth and stretching is, I mean, this is all that same stuff you hear every actor say. It's so boring. But it's really after you've done so many of those other guys, it's really why you do it, because it's fun.
Deadly Relations airs Saturday on ABC.
Mamas, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys.
Willie Nelson celebrates his 60th birthday with a 2-hour special with guests including Waylon Jennings, Garth Brooks, Ray Charles, and more.
I will thank them all eventually, some way. But it's amazing to get this many people together for anything.
Willie Nelson, The Big 6-0 airs Saturday on CBS. And Marv Albert hosts a 1-hour interview special on the bad boys of sports. 3 subjects are basketball star Charles Barkley, former pro football coach Mike Ditka, and Cincinnati Reds relief pitcher Rob Dibble.
People will see a different side of 3 volatile guys. To some, it may be the lovable side, although I did get into a shoving match with 2 of our 3 guests.
The Marv Albert special is airing in syndication. And Marv will be back at his regular job broadcasting the NBA playoffs on NBC Sundays. Next, we're going to show you why Seinfeld has dueling Kramers. Are the stars of Seinfeld being replaced by Jerry? That story is next.
It's the season ender of Seinfeld tonight, with the hit series finally spawning the sitcom within a sitcom that's been in the works all season. For the Seinfeld characters, it starts to get weird when someone else answers to their names.
Casting tomorrow at NBC, 4 o'clock. We're in business, baby.
On tonight's Seinfeld, Jerry's character gets his big break, the debut of his very own television show. And like the real series, Seinfeld stars as himself in a story that revolves around life in New York with his friends. However, he says that is where the similarities end.
The show that we ended up doing in the real show was good. This show is not so good.
When the network auditions actors to play Jerry's friends, George, Elaine, and Kramer are forced to endure seeing themselves done up as sitcom stereotypes.
I'm Kramer.
I'm Kramer.
Whoa, I'm Kramer.
The role of Jerry's bumbling neighbor Kramer goes to character actor Larry Hankin. He spoofs series regular Michael Richards, who has made Kramer such an audience pleaser with his offbeat humor.
Let's rub noses like the Eskimos.
Fans know Julia Louis-Dreyfus on the show as Jerry's ex-girlfriend, Elaine. Her character is spoofed by Elena Wall. And the role of his frantic buddy, George, normally played by Jason Alexander, gets a satirical send-up by Jeremy Piven.
Yeah, well, what are we looking at here? I mean, is this guy like a real loser?
No, not a loser.
However, Jason says he doesn't mind. He claims it's all in keeping with the spirit of intentionally spoofing the success of the real Seinfeld show by doing a really dopey sitcom.
It's got sort of the cheeseball opening score and the bad credits, and it's like the worst scenario of what can happen with a comic with his own show. I think the opening credits are Jerry on stage with shots of the other actors going as their credits come up. It's a cheeseball version.
Seinfeld wraps up its season tonight with an hour-long special that airs before Cheers on NBC. Mary.
Tonight, the Heart File opens on Jenna Von Oy. She's the fast-talking 16-year-old co-star of the series Blossom. But she's also a young woman with a sense of style who knows how to accessorize and is paying dividends on and off the set.
Okay, let's approach this logically. How does Vinny look? What's that got to do with logic? Everything. If you're still a babe, jump on it.
As Mayim Bialik's spunky best friend on the hit show Blossom, Jenna Von Oy is known for making fashion statements with her hats. She says a hat even helped her land the role.
I auditioned for the part and I wore this big wide-brim purple hat, which is actually right there in back of me. And when I got the call back for the show, they said, and wear the hat. And so ever since then, I started thinking, gosh, people seem to like me in hats, and they keep telling me I'm a hat person.
Off-screen, Jenna is a woman of many hats, literally. Her closet is filled to the brim with about 100 of them.
This is actually one of my favorite hats, and I like it because it's very different. And when I wear it, nobody can tell it's me.
Jenna is now turning her passion for fashion into a successful business venture, her own hat line.
Okay, I got them.
She designs and, in many cases, actually decorates the hats for the line called Jenna Hats. They're sold at a Los Angeles area boutique. The hats come in several styles, and many of the decorations are recycled.
Things that have come off of different jackets and things like that. These little hearts here came off of a pair of earrings that I had. I'm Jenna.
Hi, Jenna. I'm
nice
Jeannie.
Nice to meet you.
Jenna says the response she's gotten from customers is the best reward of all.
Oh, how pretty. Basically, everyone who sees the hats thinks they're adorable. And, which is great, that's a reflection on, my work, so I'm happy about that.
Jenna will be adding to her collection this fall with a line of berets and baseball caps. And Jenna is also an advisor for a new line of Blossom fashions inspired by the show that are coming out next month. And that's an update from the Heart File. Production assistance furnished by GM MasterCard. Transfer any credit card balance to the GM card and earn 5% on money already spent toward a new GM car or truck and pay no annual fee. Apply for the GM card.
Celebrating a birthday this Thursday, May the 20th, actress Mindy Cohn is 27, actor Bronson Pinchot, 34, actor Dave Thomas is 45, Cher turns 47 today, singer Joe Cocker, 49, actress Constance Towers is 60, and actor Jimmy Stewart is 85.
Some kids grow up in show business families and go on to continue the family tradition. Other kids grow up in show business families and are determined to make it on their own.
And the luckiest break we ever had came on March the 4th, 1969. It was called Chastity Bono.
Sonny and Cher's Babe was introduced in the most glamorous way possible as part of her parents' popular variety show. Today, she's making her own brand of music, determined to separate herself from her prime-time past.
Otherwise, people are going to always think of me as, as somebody else's kids or whatever.
Find out why Chastity is shunning any help from her famous folks tomorrow on Entertainment Tonight.
And also tomorrow, the paparazzi are out in force, stalking Sylvester Stallone's every move at the Cannes Film Festival. He's on the French Riviera to promote his new action film, Cliffhanger. Our exclusive coverage will put you smack dab in the eye of a meteor hurricane as we ride out the storm with Sly. It'll be a big summer for action movies. We're out of here for Thursday, and we're saying goodbye with a look back through the years at Cheers. Enjoy it. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye, Mary.
Bye-bye, John. See you tomorrow in L.A.
Roll out of bed, Mr. Coffee's dead. The morning's looking bright, and your shrink ran off to Europe and didn't even write. And your husband wants to be a girl. Be glad there's one place in the world where everybody knows your name.
Don't you know who this is? He used to be one of the best pitchers in baseball, Samuel Mayday Malone.
I coached this kid down in Pawtucket in Double-A ball and up here with the Red Sox.
You want to go where everybody...
Hello. Welcome to Cheers. My name is Diane. I will be serving you.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Oh, no! Excuse me, my name's Woody Boyd.
Woody? Hi, I'm Sam Malone.
You can see our troubles are all the same.
You'd never catch a woman of mine leading me around by the nose.
No, but you might catch her sunning herself on a rock.
Gentlemen!
Yeah!